watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching.
How are you?
Good. I'm a little taken back. I didn't know this was happening. I came around the corner and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on here? No one's got guns though, so I hope I'm safe. Yeah.
Here we go then. Do we have a first question over here? Oh, it's far away. Someone over there? You have a question?
Oh. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good.
Siam from the media Middlema TV. Hope that you are doing great.
Great.
Hope that you enjoy Hellfest
Yes.
today. So we are so happy to see you here.
Nice.
Suicidal! Yeah, I'm so happy. Sorry, sir. Come on. Are you giving me a hug? Thank you so much. You guys bring us joy, and happiness. You know that. I'm so sorry for my colleague. I'm too happy.
No. That's
Thank
all
you for
good.
the hug, really. I
Oh, no worries.
appreciate- So, yeah, this is my first question.
Okay.
So, as an artist today, how do you feel about the word today? Be honest with us. How do you feel about the word today?
Oh, the world?
Yeah. What happened in
Oh.
the world? Yeah. Because you guys
Well,
have...
I'm the wrong person to answer that because I will have. They say basically you got 50% people this way, 50, 33, 33, 33, and whatever you say, there's going to be a certain amount of people agree, and the other are going to hate you. Whenever I speak, everybody hates me. So I'm like my dad. I don't tell people what I think they want to hear, and I think there's a lot of issues, obviously, and I see people saying the same things, just very predictable based upon their side, and nobody wants to communicate. Looks like I've been saying a lot. They want confirmation. They want you to tell them a certain thing to fit in and have that whole situation, and that's a big part of the problem with the world. No one's really communicating, and so it's sad in a lot of different directions. And I see people that I know that like they're like puppets that just regurgitate stuff, and it's like sad you can't have a conversation. And I think until people can learn to actually talk, and when people say words are violence, I think that's terrible, because I know what violence is. I've had a lot of friends killed, and to put that in the same equation where you say, if I say something and you don't like it, that I've assaulted you or something, that's crazy, because actually I haven't said anything bad at all. I'm just trying to come to an understanding and try to communicate, and I'm not the one that's trying to force my opinions on other people. But when people try to force their opinions on me, it's 1980s, 80, 79 again, and I don't like that. And the last thing I'll kind of end it up because I'm rambling, but you always go to people and they'll come up and you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I say, well, why don't you go walk over there and do that? You can't tell me what to do. Motherfucker, you just been telling me what to do, and now I tell you and you don't like it. So why the fuck are you telling me what to do? So that's the problem. Everybody expects everybody else to do what they want, and they don't. Yeah, and I don't understand why people are scared of communication. Myself, but...
Okay. Is this on? Check. All right, hey. Hi there.
Hey.
Joseph here from Loud TV, fellow California boy here.
What part?
San Diego.
Okay, cool.
So, of course, the term crossover has been used quite a bit in reference to your music, but it could also be used in reference to the number of bands connected to Suicidal from both former and current members. And with such an impressive depth of talent here that you have with your group today, and among those who have gone on to play with other groups, why do you think Suicidal Tendencies has been like a nexus for such an eclectic group of musicians?
Well, I think it's one of the goes to the other side of what I was just talking about. We don't expect people to conform. We don't have an agenda. We don't have you have to do this, you have to do this. I think the world is best when people are themselves. And I think that kind of phrase has been hijacked where people, when they say be yourself, they want you to be what they want you to be, not for you to find out truly who you are. And when people follow, it's whether you go as stupid as the Wright brothers, when they said they were going to fly, it's like, oh yeah, right. But when people do follow their dreams, there's going to be a lot of nightmares. And the people that are going to handle the nightmares are the ones that are going to be able to survive and have things that happen. And for us, I've never been, if I was to tell Thundercat, for instance, what to play on bass, something is wrong. Something's wrong with me, not him. And I think that's one of the point. You let people do what they do best, the way they feel. And I think that works when they when they have the ability and talent. And my dad said something way back. He goes, my dad's name is Gene. He goes, I don't want on my tombstone to say, here lies Gene Muir. He held people back, and I want people to be able to be the best at what they do and for them to be happy at what they do. And when you do things that other people want you to do, you're usually not happy, and when you think you're doing what you want to do, sometimes you find out that doesn't bring happiness and you go to a different path. But I think one of the things with Suicidal is we don't try to make Thundercat be Robert Trujillo, and that type of situation. And I believe that's why you see the individuality of people that come through. But they also have an understanding of what Suicidal is because they all heard Suicidal and they know what it meant to them, and they want people to hear what they do to have that same feeling. So I feel very fortunate to be able to be with a lot of people that incredible musicians, but more so incredible people, Hey, how's it going? You stand up, I'll stand up. Okay. Yeah.
I'm Arky Vinyl from Mexico,
Oh, cool.
and I get a question for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty short. Give me a second, please. Okay. How would you describe the relationship between your music and the skate punk culture?
Well, to me, my brother was a pro skateboarder, and so he was 5 years older than me. So he was a pro when he was 17. I was 12 years old. So when I was 12 years old, obviously the world is pretty simple, but you look up at, Tony Alva, all these Jay Adams, all these people, and you see these great skaters that you wish you could skate like. And skateboarding was definitely a lifestyle back then. Everybody had their skateboard with them all the time. It's transportation, it was a weapon, it was an activity and stuff. And so the first people they got into Suicidal were actually the skaters. The punk rockers said, oh, they're not punk, they're metal. The metal people said they're not metal, they're punk. And it was the skaters that first got in there. And Lance Mountain in '83, he drew one of the first artwork and stuff. And I'm was a huge Lance fan and stuff, great guy. And so seeing all those things happen for me was a great situation, especially going to like skate parks and then hearing them start the music kind of changed and then hear them play Suicidal at a skate park, and that type of stuff. That was like, wow, that's so cool, and imagine yourself when you're 12 years old, not even doing music or think you could do music and then to be played and stuff. So skating has always been a huge part to see what the skaters are doing now and to be able to know them because of, Possessive Skate and all that and the association. It's a great feeling.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for your music.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Sofiane from the RTBF in Belgium. When we see the Suicidal Tendencies fans, there's a very intergenerational aspect to it. You see different generation all getting into this beautiful organized chaos. And you mentioned your father a couple of times throughout this discussion. I want to know what influence your dad had on your taste of music and the rock star you became today.
Well, my dad likes country music, so. But my dad was one that he played football in college, American football, and when you're young and his friends are there and you're growing up and they're like, oh, you're gonna play football, and my dad said he's gonna do whatever he wants to do, and I think that's the thing with my dad. A lot of like my friends now, they skate, you're going to skate. You know, they this or that. Or when I was younger, people, if their parents were doctors, you're going to be a doctor, this or that. My dad said he's going to find his path. My brother ended up being, like I said, a pro skater. My sister was an accountant. My other sister was a speech pathologist. It's like, and I somehow got into music, and people question whether it's music, but you know, he let us find our own path. And I think that's the situation with, now I have 4 kids. It's like, what are they going to do? I want them to find their own path. You know, I don't, one of my expectations and hopes is they'll be happy, that they'll find something that every day, that yesterday may not have been the best, it may have been hard, but they're looking forward to doing it again today and trying to make it better, you know, and doing it for the right reason, and they feel it in their heart. And there's too many people that don't feel things in their heart, you know, except for pain. And so I think that was the thing with my dad, but in the same sense, my dad knew nothing about music, but when we started, he was out there selling t-shirts, you know, and he was always there to whatever it was with my brother. He was there, I'm going to help do what you're going to do and stuff. And so that's what I learned, is to be there, to be helpful and be a part of it. And I think that family thing is a massively important, because I grew up and there's maybe 3 or 4 people I knew that their parents were together, you know, and I saw the difficulties and a lot of situations that people had stemming to their family situation or lack of it and that type of thing. And my dad, because of that, was very aware. And I was just talking about it. He said, you got 3 families in life. You got the one you're born into. They're not going to change. Your mom, your dad, or your sisters, your cousins. You have to make it work. And the things that work, remember those things. And the things that don't work, remember those things so you don't repeat those things. And then you get a teenager and you have your family from friends that you go to school with or you live by, and you'll find out later you might be disappointed, and those are geographical conveniences. They're not friendships. And then you get older, and then you make a family, and then remember all the things that were great, and try to incorporate those, and all the things that you didn't like, and don't and avoid them and stuff. So I think music is like that. It's a family, and in the same sense, there's one of the ones where traveling and for like France for the first time, you go there, everywhere there's a different language. You see the differences, but when you get past that and you see the similarities, there's so many people that I know that I go, man, if we grew up, I would be better friends with you than the people I grew up with. And then there's other people that you go like, wow, I'm glad I don't live by them, you know, and stuff. So it's amazing in the world how many great people there are, and a reminder of like how many bad people there are, you know, and try to avoid the people that are going to make more problems in my life, or not going to be a good thing, because I at the point I can't fight everybody, you know, and I don't want to fight everybody, but I do want to be a situation where people that see Suicidal, they understand why we are the way that we are, and realize that, you know, and life is not always going to be easy. It's going to be fucking hard, you know, and with my kids in school, they don't teach them that. They teach them that there's all these problems and it's not their fault and there's nothing they can do about it. And that fucking pisses me off, you know, because I always grew up fighting, you know, whether mentally or physically and stuff. And I realize the mental ones are more important. But if you don't stand up for yourself, nobody's going to fucking do it, you know. And you have to believe in yourself, because no one else will believe in you. They'll just believe in what they want you to do. And what they want you to do is, at the end of the time, when you're older, you're going to be full of fucking regrets, you know. And that's one of the things I believe. You have to follow your heart and not try to fit into other people's choices.
Thank you, sir.
This was, j'entends pas, c'est bon. This was really beautiful, by the way, the answer. Thank you so much. Just have a question. When we think of suicidal tendencies, I can't help thinking of your audience around the world. So how do you keep this flame alive between you and your audience? People are here and they support you and they love you, and we can feel it, really.
So I think I've learned that sometimes people like people as an escape. it's an imaginary world, the actors or this or that. And then sometimes people, I don't sound bad, they like people because they're a person. And I think people know that maybe I'm different, but I'm a person. And I try to be a person. I do not want to be a person. I want to breathe air. I want to drink water. I don't want to be anybody else. I want to be my kids to be people. I want people to be able to get around. And my first choice is to want to not to like people. And that would be my choice. I would love to like people. I can't like everybody, and stuff. And I think people see that. And I enjoy we just did a song, and for Brazil, we're going to Brazil, and we're very fortunate that we have all these Brazilian artists singing on the record. And to be someone from Venice that I never thought I'd be able to go anywhere in the world, and then you have people in Brazil that are singing on a song because they love the band. That's a great thing, And I think wherever we go, there's been so many different stories. We toured here 20-something dates. When we did that before, you're going an hour in between cities. You get there early. There's people there. They're taking you to their parents' businesses, and all these different things. And it's a great thing to be able to meet people as people, And so I love that.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, nice hat and shirt. Oh man. Yeah.
This is Burak from Deli Kasap magazine from Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious about, are you working on new stuff? Will we listen new Suicidal album or new songs?
Yeah. Well, one of the things when we did the last record, World Gone Mad in 2016. And I kind of said, it sounds bad, but I don't enjoy making records because it's like full on mental fuck, to me. And then it's the time and the family and everything. It's difficult. But now having Ben in the band, Jay in the band, one of the first things Jay did after we did a couple shows is just going, dude, I want to fucking make a record. I want to, And the way he and Ben, they said it, they go when we were, Ben goes, when I was 12 years old and I heard the Suicidal, it spoke to me, and other music, I heard a lot of music it did. He goes, I want to do a record like that. And that's exactly what Jay said. Obviously having Ty, Robert's son in there, Robert's dude, you guys need to make a record, you do that thing. And so I think that we're definitely leaning towards doing it. And we realize that a lot of people with music, you look around and you see what's popular, what's trendy. And we go back to what was popular and trendy when we did our first record, and we didn't do any of that. And all the reviews was terrible. And so we'll do a record that people probably will not like, and I will be very happy and stuff. But I think that years from now, that people will sit there and there'll be a lot of people that are not so much into trends or genres that'll go that's a fucking really badass record, And so that's what I want to do. So as I say, I like to like people, but I don't care if people like me. It makes my life easier. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Guys, nobody else? Nobody else?
Hello, I'm Svetosov from Hangar 18 from Bulgaria.
Oh, cool. We're going to be there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm always there.
Yeah.
You've created probably one of the most amazing albums in your history, but you nearly never play any songs live from it. I'm speaking about Art of Rebellion. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
When we did that record, I think for me it was a record that I knew a lot of people would not like, and people, I found we did our first record, then we did Join the Army. People were expecting to hear the same record, first record done again, and it was different, and then people didn't like that. And we did How I Laugh, was completely different. And then when we did Feel Like Shit, which was completely different, and then we did Lights Camera Revolution was different, and then we did Art of Rebellion was completely different. And a lot of people really did not like that. And for me, it was a record that I wanted to, there was actually a more natural, because I wrote a lot of the songs, and it was an easy record to make. But it was a record I also wanted to make so that people could say, we can do different things. We're always expanded and stuff. And so I think that live, we toured off that record. We played a lot of it, and just really don't want to, haven't felt like playing these songs. Yeah.
You have a French version. You have a French version of Monopoly of Soul.
Yeah.
It's
So
very
my favorite story, there's someone at the label that I considered a friend. She was a really sweet lady, and so we really wanted to do something because we've done so many shows in France, and we felt so accepted. And I was telling the story how Solomon, who was the promoter, when we played the first time, he goes, I want you to play more places in France. And so I went to our booking agent and said, hey, I was talking to the promoter. He said, we could play all these other places. And our booking agent was English, said, oh, no. You play in Paris because it's on the way to to London. And I was like, oh. And Solomon really pushed, and I fought and did a couple shows, and it was great, And then we did a bunch more. We did, like I said, I think it was 20 shows one time. And the way everybody treated it was special. And so I wanted to try to do this. So I said, okay, we'll sing it. I'll try to sing it in French. And so when we got there, she was saying, oh, the song, what about this song? I can't even say it. She was, oh, I hear that. I just smile like this and that. And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling great. She goes, yes. She goes, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds so funny, So I tried, and then I was like going, okay, that's it. I'm not going to. But I think it's the language sounds so beautiful, and I thought it sounded really good. But obviously I'm not French, so it does not go over as well. But I think people appreciated the effort. I did try. Went to because I never spoke French before, went to a professor at UCLA to try to help me and to do a little bit, and then speaking and then singing are different things too. And but yeah, it was intended to be a very heartfelt thing. Yeah.
Hi, Mike. I'm
Yeah.
Paula from Rock Brigade, Brazil.
Hey, hello. Yeah.
I don't have a really question.
Yeah.
Just say we are waiting for you there.
Yes, no, really excited. So we, for the Brazil thing, we had a week off, and after this tour, and then when I guess it's a National Rock Day, July 13th, and then when they had there's a arena, and they do a free show. And so that, okay, we'd love to do that. The only problem is I'm flying straight from here to Brazil, and then straight from Brazil back to the States. And so it's a long time, but to be able to do that's great. The only bad thing is, obviously Porto Alegre with the floods, because we were supposed to play there, and that was kind of sad, because besides the situation, so many people were like, don't cancel the show, and we really tried with the promoter and everything, and there was a massive flood in Brazil, and the airport was like 4 feet underwater. The bus place, there's no way to get in there. There's so many people that are homeless, and you don't see it on the news. It isn't something that is as clickbait as all politics and this and that. But it's sad what's going on, and having so many Brazilian friends and friends that have family there is sad. But there's no way we could do it. So we're hoping in the future to be able to do like a free show there when everything gets normalized. But that's the only bad side of it. But yeah, we're really excited to going back. Cool.
Another question.
Yes.
From me, sorry.
No, that's fine.
So I just want to say that lockdown helped me discover new things like rock, pop. Lockdown helped me discover new things. So what about you? Did lockdown help you discover
Oh.
new music, new band, or stuff like this?
I thought
Thank
that
you.
I thought that was a band, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck they are. You mean COVID? The COVID lockdown? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another one. You got to be careful what you say. I don't think that it was handled very well in a lot of ways and stuff. There's a lot of people, like why I don't like politics, that brought out the absolute worst. And you could see people just love being on camera and this and that. And there's a lot of people that were suffering. And you see with this, especially in the States, with the kids and the schooling. Some of my friends have kids, the troubles that they went through and are going through. You see the suicide rates gone way up and all these things. And a lot of people won't talk about it because it goes against their politics, rather than being like, we got a fucking problem. This is like, people may not, have to wear the mask or this, but we got a problem. People are messed up from that. And so there was a lot of people that did well. Usually people that had a lot of money came out of it really well. But there's a lot of people that have not good environments that need to get out of where they live. That's their escape and keeps their sanity, and they couldn't. So I found myself going the opposite. I did not listen to music at all. I was was concerned. My dad broke his neck. My dad's 95 now, but he was 91, broke his neck in January, right when it started. So he couldn't get the care that was needed. And then they also kind of based it on age. So he's like, oh, you're 91, And so there's a lot of issues where you see things that happened that I don't like. So I was really concentrated on my family and that type of situation. I think that was the whole thing. I was really concerned about a lot of my friends. And so everybody had different experiences. I know some people, they made a lot of money, they were happy, And but I hope that well, it's kind of sad because people still can't talk about it because people say, well, you're a one. I go, no, I'm not. I just, there's some things that don't you think, and on people on both sides, it's like there's a whole lot of space in between this side or that side. And the only reason why it's worth talking about is because when something happens again, we have to learn. We have to learn. And I don't think people learn things. They've just learned to be more stubborn. And that's not good. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Cool.
Guys, come on.